And so is the group representing some Starbucks workers. Starbucks Workers United overnight announced, quote, 5 days of escalating strikes during the Christmas rush. The union says walkouts will begin in Los Angeles, Seattle, and Chicago and spread to other areas, protesting Starbucks wages and other labor disputes. While Starbucks says the union ended bargaining prematurely and that the company offers, quote, competitive average pay and best-in-class benefits, adding, we need the union to return to the table.
And the Teamsters said that more and more people were walking off the job yesterday, but I can tell you that at least here at this facility in Alpharetta, Georgia, at its peak, there were about 25 demonstrators, and they did admit to me that they don't work directly for Amazon, but rather for third-party contractors. Savannah?
All right, Priya, thank you.
Meantime, the accused killer of a prominent healthcare CEO is back in New York facing an expanded list of charges, and federal prosecutors are revealing more details from their ongoing investigation. NBC's Stephanie Gosk is here with the latest. Hey, Steph, morning.
Good morning. On Thursday, Luigi Mangioni's day began in a Pennsylvania court and ended, according to a senior official, in a Brooklyn jail cell about 10 miles from here. In between, he was handed new federal charges, including murder, that could result in the death penalty if he's convicted.
This morning, Luigi Mangioni is back in New York City to face charges, landing in Manhattan on an NYPD helicopter Thursday, after being extradited from Pennsylvania, where he was arrested. The 26-year-old accused of murdering United Healthcare CEO Brian Thompson was handcuffed, shackled, and escorted by heavily armed law enforcement.
Police Commissioner Tish and I want to send a very clear and loud message that this act of terrorism is something that would not be tolerated in the city.
Mangioni hit with 4 new federal charges, including stalking and a murder charge that could carry the death penalty. That's on top of 11 state criminal charges in New York, including murder in the first degree in the furtherance of terrorism. The newly unsealed federal complaint also revealing new details in the investigation, saying Mangioni allegedly undertook extensive efforts to identify, place under surveillance, and track the victim's whereabouts in the time period leading up to the murder. According to prosecutors, in the hours before the shooting, on at least one occasion prior to the murder, the shooter was depicted using a cell phone. It does not specify who Mangioni may have been talking to. The documents also detail more closely what was inside the notebook authorities say was recovered during Mangioni's arrest at a Pennsylvania McDonald's last week. According to the complaint, Mangioni had pages that express hostility towards the health insurance industry. And in an entry dated August 15th, he wrote, "The details are finally coming together, and the target is insurance because it checks every box." Mangioni's day Thursday began in a Pennsylvania courthouse, where he told a judge he was waiving his right to an extradition hearing. He was then immediately taken into custody by New York law enforcement, driven to the airport where a plane was waiting. Ultimately, a helicopter bringing him to Lower Manhattan, and his first appearance before a federal judge. He has not entered a plea in either the state or federal case.
We're going to respectfully decline to make any comment at this time.
Mangioni will be detained until his next hearing in January. As we mentioned, a senior official telling NBC News he's currently behind bars at the Metropolitan Detention Center in Brooklyn. That's the same facility where music mogul Sean Diddy Combs is awaiting trial. He is probably going to be back in court, however, sooner than that on these state charges.
All right, Steph, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Much more to get to. Craig joins.